the bear's kind of neutral, even though I wanted him to be the bad guy. But I think that's the best I can do. I can't give him human, even though smoking is like a human thing, but that's as far as I want to push it. I think when I was little, I made art to get attention. I wanted somebody to go, oh, that's nice. You know, I found making things, if you made something, you showed them, and then I think they had, I didn't realize at the time, but they had to say they liked it, which worked out for me because I wanted them to like it. So I think that started at a very young age to make things and be excited about making something and showing people. I went to UMD and got a BFA in art, and then I got a job painting billboards, and then that's when I really got excited about painting and learning how to paint, and because you do it every day, you really learn it because you have to learn it, and you couldn't play with it. You either had to produce the stuff or go home. If you can't give them what they want, they didn't want you there. But it was exciting, and it turned out to be a 17-year thing I did, and I really loved it. I think the other billboard painters, you ever talk to them, I think they'd probably say the same thing, that they really, really liked it. The books at the library, that took, I don't know how long that took, maybe a month to do. I think, well, part of it was really fun to do. There's also something about the scale. It's really fun when something's really big, and when you put something on a wall, it's official. It looks like, no matter how crazy it is, if it's on the wall, it looks like it belongs there. It's part of the architecture. It's part of the environment. You know, it's part of life in a way. It's really fun. Kind of an epic retirement fail. 3 weeks after I retired, then Colleen and I had a crash, and she got banged up, and I got banged up worse. And it took a while I got a lot of titanium added to me, and it's kind of close to death there for a little bit. And so I think I was in like a coma. You know, stuff was going on when you're in a coma that's pretty wild. This one's a little dark. This is our actual crash. Well, the pig wasn't there, and our reflections weren't in the water, of course. But that's as close as I got to the crash in a painting. So that was like a crime scene photograph that we got from it. But there was something about the pigs playing instruments that kept showing up in my hallucinations, which was really hilarious. I think that the only thing I can take good from the crash is that it gave me an appreciation of life a little bit more. Like lately, I've been trying to do fun things that my grandkids would like a little bit, that maybe they get a kick out of it. You know, like animals playing instruments, or, you know, doing things they're not, you know, just fun stuff, lighthearted stuff, easier things. And that keeps me painting a little bit, but it doesn't stop me like this thing behind me. This is getting a little bit dark because, you know, the motivation for this is like worrying about my kids and my grandkids. You know, it starts out with a little kid smoking, which is probably wrong. She's making a bad decision. But the one behind her is the one that maybe talked her into it, you know, and the reference is a political one. So those things I rattle around in my head, and if I can use them, if they're interesting to me to talk about, and maybe that helps make the image stronger when your set of characters are in a story that you're kind of telling, but you're more, I like to hint at the story more than try to shove it in people's faces. This is how it has to be. Well, I like it when people get some bits and pieces of a painting and then they tell me their story. I really get a kick out of that, because I've heard some whoppers like, well, I like yours better than the idea I had when I did this, so let's go with yours. You know, I'll take your story and steal that because it's way cooler than what I had. Like if I get up, don't have anything to eat, drink, just come out and sit here and not necessarily paint, but just start shuffling stuff around, looking at things. And then if something happens, just start working. Oh, I can do this, boom, or I can do that. That seems like it's the most effective than, well, now you're going to do this and you're going to get all pumped up for it. And part of that is I'm trying to cut down on caffeine and sugar. So it's to be in low gear when you're out, when you just first wake up is actually a more honest way of looking at it for me. And then if you get going on something, then it could turn into a 3-hour painting session where, oh, that worked out, I'm hungry, go eat, you know, take an hour off. So if it's, but I like having it integrated into my daily life where they're not separated, because that's what I wanted to do, is to be a painter. Now I get to be a working artist. That's important to me because I've always wanted to be a working artist, and it hasn't turned out the way I thought. But how do you know until you try it? You know, you don't know if the paintings are going, people are going to like them or not. But that's kind of secondary to living the life as a working artist, is at least as honest as I can do it. And then take your lumps if something doesn't turn out. Boo-hoo. Well, this one died. This is an example of one that I never resolved. It's on linen too. It's a really nice surface. But I got to a point that nothing was working. So it just died right then and there. Just getting something that you're kind of excited about. Sometimes you get something you're, like a face you really like, and you start with the face and then work with no plan. Like this one, I just started with a face that I really liked the face. Oh, I got to paint this face. And then let things grow. But sometimes nothing comes of it. You end up with a face, and now you're, so what? It's just a face. There's nothing happening. There's no, you know. But, so the idea thing can be really tricky. That's why the painting for little kids has helped me, because, I mean, everybody likes baby bears, you know. If a baby bear's playing with a toy or something, that's amusing, you know, and fun to paint. And you know, try to make it a nice painting. It doesn't have to be all that serious. So there can be soft subjects, easy subjects, and then hard ones, and anything in between. You give it your best, and sometimes it's horrible, and sometimes you surprise yourself. It's about my freedom to do what I want, in a way, to play in the sandbox how I want to play in it. And it's like, I struggle with like a commission, because, oh geez, I mean, you want to be polite, you want to give them what they paid for, but it's really restrictive. It's more fun when it's open-ended. Well, what happens if I do this? Or, oh, what's this? You know, if one thing will lead to another, and be fun. That's more about the fun part and less about the work part. In a way, I'm kind of in an easy spot, because I can just do what I want. If it doesn't sell, it's not, I still get to eat the next day, you know, I don't lose my home. but to be a working artist and a successful, because typically success kind of goes on a wave. You can have a good year, you can have a bad year, and one year everybody's excited about what you're doing, the next year somebody else comes along and they're excited about what they're, so you can be flavor of the month. Well, that's a tough thing to do when you got to make money all year. You can make 1 month of good stuff. So the art stuff's tough financially. I, you know, from my point of view, I'm kind of giving it away a little bit by saying I'm not that successful, you know, money-wise, but that's just the way it is. I mean, some people have gotten rich doing their stuff. Well, good for them. You know, art history is full of them. People that should be appreciated because they're so good at what they do. Well, I don't know what to do about those people. It's, you know, they're really good, but you can't not do what you want to do because other people are better. That's just life, you know. It's to make something that's the best I can make. That's important to me, you know, and it just have to be, I guess, realistic about it, humble about it. It's like you do the best you can, you know, bring it. It's your chance to really take it as far as you want to try to take it and see what happens.